Hi there YouTube, it's me from Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to a Korean toy review. Yes, another Korean toy review. This is the third Korean toy review on the trot. So obviously I'm doing this string of 5 Korean toy reviews back to back because I'm trying to catch up on Korean toy reviews that I sort of suspended back in August. And yeah, so this is the third. So this is a toy that I got last month that I haven't reviewed yet. And it's going back to Hello Carbot toy line. A toy line that I sort of started my Korean toy reviewing with back in, was it 2015 with Hello Carbot Standy. And yeah, the toy, well this series, this show is now up to, what is it? I'm not sure what season it's up to. Is it 15, 16, something like that? It's maybe more. It's done a ridiculous amount of seasons. Yes, the show is getting an English dub finally. They're putting up episodes of season 1 into English dub. They're up to episode 4, which is the one where Hawk makes his appearance. Pretty good actually, and I really like the person they've got doing the voice for Chatan or Charlie because he sounds pretty close to the Korean original, and they really paid attention to getting his voice just right, and I really appreciate that. But they've got a lot of seasons to get through. But anyway, this show, I'm not really watching it these days. The newer seasons, I'm not bothering with them because it's fairly generic, or it's getting fairly generic. I mean, yeah, they introduced new characters, but it's the same old Chatan and the Line Gang and a few other bad guys come in. Speaking of bad guys, this one's a bit interesting in that regard. Anyway, so the focus of today's review is Hello Carbot The Braves, which is the name of the latest season, Hyde. Now, he's an interesting character because he's sort of like almost like a wizard type Carbot, and in being so, he gets sort of cornered and corrupted by that other wizard dude that's in the show, and he gets turned bad or evil, and then he's helping the line guys by working behind the scenes like a ninja or an assassin, and helping them out with their nefarious schemes. He does get his conditioning ruined, or his conditioning reversed in a later episode where he comes back round to being a good guy. But it's interesting that this guy is kind of a bad guy toy, or a toy of a bad guy from the show, which is something that the Korean shows never ever do. They never do that. They never do toys of the bad guys, and so it's kind of unusual in that regard. Right, so here he is in his alt mode. Show you the packaging. So this is my first Hello Carbot Braves, or the Braves figure, and obviously they've you can see it up here, look, the Braves. And very ornate packaging. He's got all this gold trim around it. It's like a dark coloration. You got Chatan or Charlie for his English dub name there. This figure's got an unusual feature in alt mode and in robot mode to some extent. So it's quite unusual. So anyway, there's the box. There's his name at the bottom. Hyde. Pictures of him on the side. More pictures on the side. More pictures on the top, and all the product information on the bottom. So there we go. Nice box, made out of heavy cardstock. It's got a large window with a double clamshell inside. It's all good. Comes with the usual sort of instructions, which show you the transformation in both directions, forwards and backwards, and it shows you how to integrate it with all the accessories. So that's the usual stuff. Comes with the cube that goes in the activator watch that you can get, that does lights and sounds and voice clips and stuff. And comes with a cape. Comes with soft goods. Now it's the first time I've ever seen a Korean toy come with soft goods. I've not seen it before, so that's very interesting. But you don't use that until robot mode. So the car, it's a fictitious car, though I do think it does bear a slight resemblance to Jaguar or Jaguar sort of car, sort of sports car, convertible coupe type thing. It does bear a slight resemblance, I think, especially with the lights around the back. So yeah, pretty cool alt mode. It's got large pinned wheels which roll really well. It's got transparent windows which you can see a bit of the transformational sort of joints behind it. It's got a little grille in the bonnet. It's got vents on the side. It's got wing mirrors. It's got transparent lights in the back. It's got transparent lights in the front. Pretty good. He's got weapon storage, so these red things underneath are his weapons, so they plug in underneath quite nicely. And that's the car mode. But there's more to it than that. This thing has an extra sort of feature, which is quite unusual. As it's a convertible, you can drop the top. Now, a bit of parts forming is involved, so you have to sort of, well, first of all, you need to pull these back panels out, and then there's these windows which you fold in. Then you grab the roof, unhook it, unclip it at the back, and you open the back bit, and then you pull this section out, and then you just put everything back. Just plug everything back in. There we go, and then you've got these little things here that you fold up to give him the seats. And there is Hyde in his convertible car mode. So it's a proper convertible. Hasn't got a steering wheel, unfortunately, but it has got, you know, seats, which is pretty cool. And the top disappears completely. Well, obviously because you take it off. But yeah, he's a proper drop top. So that's a really cool feature that they worked into this guy. But anyway, going back, let's put it back a bit. Right, so okay, then we're back to its proper car mode. So transformation, again fairly straightforward, but it's got a few little extra bits on it. So first things first, you take the accessories out. So he's got these blades, like dagger blades, put off to one side. Then you start the transformation by pulling these back panels out. Now, they are attached to the arms, so it is possible to just pull the arm out like that. But the instructions say you've got to sort of grip the side and then unclip the shoulder pauldrons and pull them out like that. Then you can, then it says you're supposed to deal with the legs, but I think do the arms next. So you've got the door is on a double hinge. You unplug it and then rock it back and then plug it in. So you take the door, it's on a double hinge, rocks back and then plugs in, and then you angle the shoulders, and that's his arms. So going around to the back, take the windows, fold them down, then split the legs, which peg in a few places and quite tight. Now you get the foot, you pull it out, and it's on a double hinge, you bring that down, double ratchet, and that's the legs done. And then the head, so you take the back panel and you fold that forwards, and then you reach inside and pull out the head. It comes out with this part of the cape. Straighten that up. Then you've got to fold that up, fold this in, go back, and then you slot the head plate into the into that to make that, and we're pretty much done. Oh yeah, you've got to fold those windows in again. So there we go. There is Hyde in his robot mode, and he looks he looks really, really cool. He looks like a bad guy because he's got all these sort of little like dark green, purple, and these black sort of fabricy, sort of swishy bits on his shoulders and his chest. Looks pretty cool. So there we go, and you go around. Oh, and yeah, another thing is you've got the bit of his cape that folds out like that. Looks pretty cool. Now, he does have, obviously, the cape, but I'll go for the articulation first before we go into the cape accessory. So, articulation, he has got a head sculpt. Now, you can take this cape bit off, so it plugs in at the back and then it comes off completely and gives him a sort of a bear look like that. So then you can get at the head, and it's on a ball joint, angles backwards and forwards, a little bit side to side. Has got a light piping section in his eyes, but light doesn't shine through it. But this piece has got the hood, which plugs into the back, and then it just rests over the top of his head. So you have to sort of pull it back in order to sort of move his head. The shoulder pauldrons can move a little bit. Shoulders, they're on this double link. So they fold backwards and forwards like that. And they can go out like that. Doesn't have a bicep swivel, unfortunately. Does have wrist rotation though, which is interesting. He's got a waist joint. It's a bit limited, but he has got one. Hips, forwards. I mean, this thing gets in the way. Backwards. Angles out and in. Thigh rotation. 90-degree knee. And then the ankles. Now the ankles are on this double jointed joint, so the feet can sort of go backwards and forwards. And he has got a little bit of an ankle tilt as well. So you can get him in some decent dynamic poses because, you know, he's got a reasonable amount of jointage. Like I said, the only thing he's missing is a bicep swivel, really. So there we go. Accessories. So he has these blades, which, because they're sort of daggers, you're supposed to put them in the bottom of his hands. Like so. Or you can double wield them like that, so you can put them in like that. Like I said, there is a bit of a rotation on the hand, but the door does block it going all the way around. So that's those. And then the other thing is his cape. Now, like I said, soft goods on a Korean toy or a Hello Carbot toy. I've never seen that before. So it's got a wire around the outside. It's got like right angles at the top, so it's kind of like rectangular. And it's got a little bit of a bump in the middle. Now, it doesn't actually plug in very firmly. There's no way it clips in. It's sort of like, what the idea is, you're supposed to sort of open the shoulders a bit, and then you just stuff it in the back, around the back of his neck, and then you push the corners underneath the shoulders, and then you bring the shoulders back up, and it kind of pinches it into place. And there you go, there's his cape. So like I said, it just sort of, the shoulders sort of pinch it on either side and hold it in place. It doesn't actually plug in as such, it just sort of grips it in round the back, but it gives him a cape. And I suppose if you wanted to do a cape swoosh, you could, I suppose. So that's an interesting feature. But like I said, he's a bit of a mysterious dude, and his name Hyde would suggest that he likes, you know, fighting from the background like a ninja or something. So yeah, he's got a cape. So, and the cape does have a wire around the edge, so there are some posing options you can do with the cape. So that's interesting. But like I said, it just pinches around the back, and it doesn't actually plug in as such. So taking it out, you just unhook it. And it comes out like so. So there we go. He's all right. He's a pretty cool looking bot. He's got rocking some nice colours. Obviously the purple and the red and the greys and the black and the greens. So he's got some good colours. He's decently poseable. Missing bicep swivels, unfortunately, but it's a Korean toy. You can't expect it to have a full raft of articulation like Transformers toys do. But he's pretty cool. He's got a nice alt mode. He's got that alternative where you can make him a convertible, or like a soft top. He's got options. This guy. He's a pretty cool figure. And my first figure from the Hello Carbot's The Brave toy line, which is the latest version of the show. I decided to get in on this guy, and he's pretty good actually. I quite like him. He's pretty cool. So that's been my review. I've been keeping a tab on the reviewing figures on the last couple of reviews I've done as part of this 5 review series. And obviously the reason I stopped back in August was because I was very unhappy with the low viewing figures that video got. And but now that I'm doing them again, I'm keeping a tabs on them. So Tobot Sonic, after one day got 32 views, and after 7 days it got 88 views. Tobot C, which I checked this morning, which was my review I did last week, that got 71 views after 24 hours, which was acceptable. I'm quite pleased with those viewing figures. If it gets like 70 odd views, 70, 80 views in the first 24 hours, that's perfectly acceptable. I'm quite willing to go with that. But I'd like it to get to over 100 views by the end of the week. But anyway, so my last review done okay. It's done all right. So with that said, that's this review. Obviously I've got another review hopefully coming next week. My Korean toys for this month have been delayed, but apparently there's a public holiday going on in South Korea, and I think that's caused my latest purchases to get delayed. So I'm hoping, I'm filming this on Sunday the 12th. Hopefully tomorrow morning I'll get the notification to say that FedEx is finally shipping my stuff. But they've been somewhat delayed this month, and I've got no reasons why that might be, though I suspect it's because of the Korea's having another holiday. So with that said, I've been TFL Wilderness. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. I'll catch you all next week. Goodbye.